Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings, 2011, explores the violent history of the Glenville Sanatorium, an isolated mental hospital in West Virginia in a prologue set in 1974. The hospital is notorious for housing mentally unstable and deformed patients, specifically the infamous Hilliker brothers, Three Finger, One Eye and Sawtooth. A new doctor at the sanatorium takes a tour of the facility and highlights Ward C, where the most dangerous patients are kept. The story reveals the brothers' backstory. They are inbred, extremely violent, and suffer from a genetic condition that renders them immune to pain. That night, a mistake made by a sympathetic nurse inadvertently leads to the brothers escaping their confines. Upon breaking free, they viciously murder the nurse and release all other patients in the sanatorium. Consequently, chaos ensues, culminating in the brutal slaughter of guards and doctors, with the patients even tearing apart and eating the head doctor alive. Ultimately, the Hilliker brothers solidify their dominance over the abandoned facility, establishing it as their lair, which sets the stage for the terrifying events that unfold in the present day. Friends' arrival at Glenville Sanatorium. Fast forward to the present, a group of college friends embarks on a snowmobiling trip. We meet Kenya, the sensible and responsible one; Sarah and Bridget, the adventurous best friends; Vincent and Kyle, the playful jokesters; Lauren, the cautious and skilled skier; Claire and Daniel, a couple adding a romantic touch to the dynamics. As they traverse the snowy mountains, an unexpected blizzard strikes, forcing them to seek refuge in an abandoned building, which they later discover is the haunted Glenville Sanatorium. Oblivious to its chilling past, the friends break in, delighted to find that the electricity and heating still function, making the grim setting feel deceptively safe. As the group explores the eerie halls, they uncover unsettling remnants of the past, such as old medical instruments and troubling patient records. Simultaneously, they are oblivious to the fact that the Hilliker brothers are stealthily observing them from the shadows. First kill, Vincent's disappearance. Later that night, while the friends indulge in drinking and revelry, Vincent, drawn by curiosity, sneaks off to investigate further. He discovers the old patient cells and mocks the eerie history of the sanatorium. However, his excitement is cut short when he is suddenly attacked and abducted by Three Finger. The following morning, as his absence is felt, the rest of the group is quick to dismiss it as a prank. Discovery of Vincent's fate. Concern grows as the remaining friends set out in search of Vincent. They inadvertently stumble upon a grotesque sight, his skinned body hanging from a hook, which sends shockwaves of terror through the group. The realization that they are not alone in the building dawns on them as they panic and piece together that they are trapped with the murderous Hilliker brothers. Old records confirm that the asylum once housed inbred cannibals, and predictably this horrifying revelation leads to violence as the brothers launch a brutal attack on the unsuspecting friends. Survival instincts kick in. With their safety in jeopardy, the group barricades themselves inside a room to devise a plan. Knowing they must find a way out, they decide to split up. Some members aim to locate an escape route, while others search for weapons to defend themselves against the marauding killers. Tension mounts as they confront the horrifying reality of their situation, and the fight for survival against the savage, relentless Hillikers begins. In the face of terror, the friends must grapple with their fear, making desperate choices in what becomes a gruesome battle against their primal foes while uncovering the horrific legacy of Glenville Sanatorium. The impending violence looms over them as they fight not just against the flesh-eating brothers but for their very lives. Claire's ambush. In a harrowing start to the ordeal, Claire is caught off guard when she is violently assaulted. She suffers a horrific fate as she is stabbed through the throat with barbed wire, leaving her screaming as she is dragged away by unknown assailants. This sets a dreadful tone for the survivors, who quickly discover the gruesome fate of their companion Vincent, whose body is found half-eaten, confirming the chilling presence of cannibals that are feasting upon their group. Realizing their dire situation, the remaining survivors come to the inevitable conclusion that their only chance at survival is to confront and eliminate the cannibals threatening them. Daniel's gruesome demise. The cannibal kitchen. In a desperate attempt to rescue their friend, the group responds to Daniel's unsettling screams. Upon locating him, they encounter a ghastly sight. He is strapped to a table as his flesh is being systematically sliced away while he is still alive. The cannibals gruesomely deep-fry pieces of his still-living body and consume him. In an agonizing turn of events, despite their efforts to save him, the group is tragically too late, and they witness one of the most chilling deaths in the franchise as Daniel is butchered in cold blood. The group's decision: trapping the cannibals. Determined to fight back after the horrors they've witnessed, the survivors devise a plan to ambush the Hilliker family, successfully trapping them within a cage in the basement. However, a contentious moral debate ensues regarding their fate, whether to kill the cannibals or leave them imprisoned. Kenya advocates for their lives, urging that sparing the cannibals will prevent the group from becoming like their merciless adversaries. This moral indecision ultimately turns out to be a grave error. Cannibals on the loose, the chase ensues. Unbeknownst to the survivors, the Hillikers manage to escape, leading to a terrifying pursuit. Kyle becomes the first casualty as he is ensnared in a trap and meets a grisly end drilled through the head. Lauren attempts a desperate escape on skis, but her efforts are in vain as she is pursued and decapitated by a snowmobile. The remaining members scramble for their lives, racing against time to reach their escape snowmobiles. The final attempt at escape. Kenya and Sarah manage to flee into the woods, but the pursuit continues as the cannibals capture Bridget. In a brutal climax, Bridget is also decapitated using barbed wire. Despite the ongoing nightmare, the duo of Kenya and Sarah finally starts a snowmobile and sets off, believing they've successfully evaded the threat. Bleak twist: the frozen lake fate. Just as they think they've found safety, the survivors inadvertently drive onto a frozen lake unaware of the lurking danger. The cannibals chase after them on another snowmobile, leading to a harrowing high-speed confrontation across the ice. In the chaos, Sarah is thrown from the vehicle and left behind. As Kenya glances back in horror, fate takes a tragic turn. She drives straight onto thin ice, causing the snowmobile to crash with her sinking into the icy water below. The film concludes with a grim revelation showing that the Hilliker brothers have emerged victorious, ominously standing over the frozen lake, suggesting that their reign of terror is far from over. The cannibal killers, the Hilliker brothers. The primary antagonists are the notorious Hilliker brothers, Three Finger, One Eye and Sawtooth. Their backstory is disturbing. They escaped from an asylum as children and subsequently took control of a nearby building. Their unique genetic disorder renders them immune to pain, allowing them to withstand horrific injuries that would incapacitate others. Unlike earlier entries in the Wrong Turn franchise, this installment introduces an extensive group of deranged cannibal followers, amplifying the horror. Themes of horror. A significant theme throughout the narrative is rooted in isolation and desperation. The unforgiving snow-covered mountains starkly reflect the characters' feeling of entrapment, compounded by the harsh and unforgiving nature that surrounds them. The movie also touches upon the danger of ignoring warnings, painting a chilling portrayal of the consequences faced when ignoring the signals of impending danger. The film presents a grim narrative steeped in horror, where the group's disregard for the asylum's ominous past leads to their undoing. Ignoring the unsettling history surrounding the asylum, the characters treat the situation dismissively, which ultimately puts them in a dire predicament. Had they heeded the warning signs, they probably would not have chosen to spend the night in such a foreboding location. The moral dilemma of the group. When confronted with the captured Hilliker brothers, the group grapples with the moral decision of whether to kill them or not. Their choice to spare the cannibals becomes a fatal error, illustrating that ethical considerations can be perilous in survival scenarios. This decision results in their demise, highlighting the notion that morality often fails in extreme situations where survival is at stake. Kill count and most gruesome deaths. The film showcases a high kill count, marking it as one of the bloodiest in the franchise. Daniel's death is particularly gut-wrenching. The cannibals slice pieces off him, cooking them while he is still conscious, delivering a horrifying fate. Vincent suffers an equally gruesome end, being skinned, hung on a hook and partially consumed. Lauren's near escape is cut short when she is beheaded in a shocking moment. Bridget meets a quick but brutal death, while Kyle experiences a slow and agonizing end. Ending explained, significance and possibilities. The movie concludes with a particularly bleak sequence, often cited as one of horror's darkest endings. Kenya meets her end, drowning beneath the ice, leading to the death of the entire group. Meanwhile, the Hillikers emerge victorious, unable to be vanquished. The story hints at the future births of inbred children, ensuring the cannibal lineage continues its harrowing legacy. Moreover, potential survival scenarios are explored. If the group had opted to eliminate the cannibals when they had the opportunity, they might have saved themselves. Lauren's near escape is thwarted by her own noise, and Kenya's ill-fated decision to drive across the treacherous frozen lake seals her tragic fate, revealing missed chances for survival. Connections to the other Wrong Turn films. The installment serves as a prequel, shedding light on how the Hilliker brothers seized control of the abandoned sanatorium. It outlines the beginnings of their cannibalistic reign, laying the groundwork for the subsequent events seen in Wrong Turn, 2003. This film notably carries the highest kill count of the series, emphasizing the brutality prevalent in the cannibals' early days. Final reflections. The brutality of Wrong Turn 4. Wrong Turn 4 stands out in the horror landscape due to its uncompromising approach. It is unique as it features a storyline where every character meets their demise, an uncommon occurrence in the genre. The unsettling setting of a snow-covered, deserted asylum creates an eerie atmosphere, amplifying the overall tension. The film's exploration of the origins of the Hilliker brothers adds depth, making the antagonists more terrifying. The creative and gruesome nature of the deaths, ranging from deep frying to decapitation, solidifies its position as one of the most brutal entries in horror cinema. What makes Wrong Turn 4 distinct? In summary, this film is a noteworthy prequel that elucidates the chilling origins of the Hillikers. With one of the franchise's highest body counts, the narrative is steeped in gruesomeness, featuring methods of killing that are especially horrific. The chilling snow-covered setting contributes to a novel atmosphere that enhances the film's tension. Unlike conventional horror plots where a protagonist often survives, Wrong Turn 4 delivers an unrelenting ending that claims every character's life, securing its legacy as one of the bleakest conclusions within the genre. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.